I'm gonna have to do mad editing.
A new video or the same one?
A new video.
Okay. Let's see if I see it.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
Oh, we are live. It's just not showing. Oh, we are live. Way. It's just not scheduled. Yeah, we're live. We're back. Okay. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, I do see it now. I see it now. And you said, wow, how long have we been just sitting, staring at the camera?
Sorry about that, guys. My internet went out for some reason. I don't know how many of y'all caught back up with us, but hopefully you'll catch back up with us.
We look like, is this week 2? Like, it's so funny because there's some stuff that happens and it doesn't matter how many streams you've done. You're still like, oops.
Man, that wasn't my fault.
Like, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like, what can you do if your shit just pops off in the middle of it? It's like, there's nothing you can really do besides be like, oops.
Sorry about that, guys. That was our bad, but my internet went out.
Oh, we were saying this. I was saying this before too. Hey guys, if anyone wants to volunteer to help us with clips or moderate the shit, we are taking applications.
Remember when I told y'all? Sorry, you were a little bit delayed. Remember when I told y'all?
And hey, Deathstroke 3.
That I'm the woke one on the show? I would never ask for free labor. Unlike Chanel, she wants your free labor. So that's the difference between us two.
You know how it's a pyramid scheme. We're building
I bet.
that you can reap the benefits one day.
All right, so we're ready to get in though. So thank you all for coming back. Those of you who made it back to us, I apologize again. I'm gonna do some crazy
we're so sorry
for this episode.
Well, I learned how to post, so I posted to the page to say, "Hey guys, if you're on the stream, hop over." And then I think like if you wanted it right away and you refresh and we weren't there, you're gone. You're gone for the night. You're going to sleep. You're starting your bedtime routine. But if you waited and you were patient and you kept refreshing that, took about 5 minutes when you got something to drink, came back, we're here. We're back and we're on.
So Tim is standing outside looking at the window with the gun in his hand.
Yeah, he ain't gonna
he shoots himself. And Vicky gets up, runs in to check on him. She starts screaming. Piper comes in and she's screaming.
It's the fact I knew it wasn't real when Piper just came. Okay, you hear a pop. That I don't know. I think you spend way more time being like, what, did I hear something? Then they like go running and screaming over. So anyway, you
can tell Chanel from Auburn Hills because those of us who've heard gunshots will know exactly what a gunshot sounds like.
They run towards them immediately. Is that what you're saying?
If it's in my house.
If you're waking up out of your sleep, you're not thinking gunshots. You're thinking, you know what?
No, she ran. She heard her mama screaming.
Oh no, you're right. But you're right. But she should be on a track team. Fuck that. Fuck all that stuff. She needs to be training for the Olympics the way she was making out of there. I just want to say this though, that it just reminds me, like in college, I used to when I would like hang out at my friend's dorm, like actual friend, like not like I'm not telling the euphemism. When the garbage truck would come outside of the dorm, you would hear it and it would sound crazy because it's just like, you know how garbage trucks, like the big dumpsters make a lot of noise and like they bang and they clang and they reverb. So I would be knocked out hearing that and I would literally be like, okay, I think the world is ending. I think that's the sound of the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Like I genuinely would be so in between sleep that I'd be like, I think everyone's about to die, but I'm so sleepy, I'm not getting up. That would happen to me every time I would sleep over. And I would be in that middle dream state where I wouldn't care enough to wake up. So my point is that hearing one shot, I don't know, Piper just must not be a real sleeper. Because real sleepers need a pop, or they need like machine gun fire to be like, oh, let me get up that people are shooting.
Chanel's mama, if you're listening, I'm sorry your daughter wouldn't come running if you were screaming in the house. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The screams is valid. The screams is enough. No, a scream would wake me up. Now that's for sure. Because as soon as somebody in my house starts talking, I'm up and awake. And I think that's a survival tactic. But you gotta wake your ass up when somebody starts lurking. You don't know what's about to happen. You need to be ready for whatever. Somebody's coming to your room with a camera filming. You just need to be ready.
We cut back to reality, and Tim puts the gun in one of the drawers, and pops LaRonza pan.
And low key, he puts a gun in plain sight, And then the fact that this man just has this lady's pills on him at all time, and she's just like, whoops, I guess someone robbed me, is very interesting.
Then comes to bed. Vicky comforts him by saying it's going to be okay. And she's like, we're going to get her back to Durham. she thinks he's all fucked up because of Piper.
He says, I'm not worried about that at all. He said, that's the least. When I tell you I'm good with whatever she does, and she just takes it as like, oh, I'm glad you're so confident everything's gonna work out. Like, she's just still in her head about like, oh, obviously he's just being a normal parent and he's nervous. But Vicky said some real shit and some really disturbing shit this episode.
Yeah, that's my girl. I got her. So then we see Guy Top, and he's coming to work looking worried as fuck because the gun's lost. And Guy Top gets to work. His boss is like, hey, dog, after work, we're going to go to the range and get some shots in. So be ready. Guy Top's like, all right, okay. Meanwhile, he know that
what
shit
I hate about this, that's what I'm saying. I hate this because like this is the most dangerous thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, please report a missing gun immediately. But okay.
So then we see the Cougars in the morning, and Kate sees Jacqueline walking Valentine out early in the morning while she on the phone with, I assume, her husband.
Yeah, she's on the phone with her husband like, these sluts last night were, oh, you're not gonna believe who I saw just walk out, like, basically. And I think I just want to say we kind of called it because we kind of thought that she would be the one, but what we were wrong about was that she's not like up in arms about it. She was just observing it, and then
she's a gossiper.
But we did know that Jacqueline, Kate, and Tracy, what's the third one's name?
Lori would feel some type of way about it because she's like, bitch, I'm the single one. Of course you would try to take my man. Then we cut to Belinda's room, and she wake up with Parnchai hugged up on her.
Look, I love to see it.
She looked very happy.
Looking gorgeous in the morning.
And then she hears a noise.
When I say Parnchai was cuddled up, Parnchai was curled up in a ball, honey.
Then she hears a noise, and here comes her son, Zion. And Zion opens the doors like, oh, you need a minute, Ma? And he's like, yeah. And Parnchai starts to apologize. She's like, don't apologize, honey. You good. I didn't know.
Yeah, he's like, he goes, grabs his panties and runs off.
So then they cut back to the boat, and after the full moon party, and we see Chloe on the phone with Greg Gary.
Honestly want to abstain from this part, but keep going. This is just too much. Keep going.
Chloe's on the phone with Greg Gary, and he's salty.
Being a gaslighter.
He's salty about her and taking the boat without him, and she thinks that she was fucking one of the brothers. And she's like, no, I didn't do any of that shit. And Greg Gary's like, I know what the fuck you did. And she's not saying anything, so she gets upset. And Chloe goes to Chelsea and is like, yeah, he's mad that he thinks that I hooked up with one of the brothers. And she goes, okay, did you? And she goes, no, I hooked up with both of them. And Chelsea was like, oh, all right. But, you're fucking beautiful. Why are you getting upset about Gary? Like, there's so many better people out there than Gary. And I was like, she is the best person in the entire planet. Like, she is so understanding about everything.
Mm-hmm.
She's the best.
Because she's an Aries.
She's the best. Aries are great. My wife's an Aries. So then you go and I don't know anything about the things though. I don't understand it one bit. Like not the slightest. But people around me talk about this all the time.
There's some apps out there that are killing it. There's some apps that are telling you what to do. And
I feel like all the apps say the same. I feel like they all say something.
No, don't do this because this is a whole segment.
Because then it comes true.
My shit, no, it's not even that. It's like mine tells me today today's a great day to avoid responsibilities. I didn't do shit today. And then it tells me that, listen to this. It says, today you feel torn between the pressure to endure the mundane and your love of action. It's good to go all in if that's what you need. Just make sure you're not doing that thing where you choose anything that moves and then start to believe that love is a battlefield you must enter blindly. Your body must be heard. All you have to do this month is find a safe place to work through your foundational trauma. Who's doing it like co-star?
I feel like you just say anything and at some point it's going to apply to you.
But when it applies to you, it changes your life. It helps you through a tough time. Is what I'm saying.
believe
Okay.
it.
Anyway,
We got a message from Skeeter Egan, who said, I
Hey,
don't even
Skeeter.
watch this show, but Chanel is cute
Oh, really?
and Brandon is funny. So here I am. That's true. Chanel
Thank
is
you.
cute and I'm funny.
Thank you. You need to watch this show. You need
That's
to
a
watch
good reason to
this
watch
show.
the show, though.
It needs to happen though. Like it needs. I do think I will tell people like you don't have to watch the show to listen to us because we will give you everything you need to know. But I will say that it is very funny to not watch this show and then hear about this particular episode because this is one of those reviews where you'd be like, why would y'all watch this show? I don't understand.
I would wager to guess that 95% of the people I follow on Instagram is either because they're cute or funny. Like those are the two reasons. So I think that's a good reason to watch something.
No, really funny. Cute is not really on my radar right now. It's just a lot of meme pages, and for me, it's encouraging or funny.
Oh, okay. You're one of those.
Yeah,
people.
I got a lot of like, yeah, oh, definitely. I got a lot of, like if let's see today's stories. Say it with me. The body, this body has carried me through hell and back, through heartbreak and healing. This body is worthy. That's the kind of stuff I retweet.
Oh, daily affirmations. Okay.
Yes, or it'll be something silly like, for example, I also posted. It says, DMing you, hey, it seems like you are also a menace of some kind, or do you want to hang out? That's also the kind of things I post. Like I put that and I said, that's how you DM me. Tell me I'm a menace and ask me on a date. Those are my two moods.
Okay. So she likes her situation. Chloe, is she? And she's like, this is good.
She's like, that man got money. He got money. He don't beat on me. I'm happy.
She sees the deckhands and she's like, all right, I gotta go try to bribe them so that they don't rat me out. Chelsea calls Rick. She asks if he went out. He's like, no, my fucking buddy's sober. God damn, leave me alone. She's like, oh, you're mad because I care about you? That's the worst thing in the world? And then she's like, I'm worried about you. Come back. And he's like,
come home. Yeah.
I'm coming back tomorrow. And then we see Saxon come up to the top deck and he's completely fucked up.
Because well, first of all, remember I told you don't take no damn street drugs in a foreign country, and then secondly, don't take no damn street drugs, and then thirdly, don't drink all day and then take no damn street drugs in a foreign country on the full moon.
He's at this point he's still remembering bits and pieces of last night, but it's not having to come all together to him. And then, but he's wearing Lockie's shorts. And then Lockie comes up wearing Saxon's shorts. And Lockie's like, dog, I can't remember everything last night, bro. I was fucked up. And Saxon was like, yeah, we both blacked out. And they keep showing Lockie looking back at him.
Which is a lie. Very few people actually. That's a poll we need to run. How often do you think people actually have blacked out when they say they blacked out?
That's a good question.
Is that just like a really convenient cop-out that people do all the time?
I don't know. I know I went to college with a bunch of people who got blacked out, who claim they got blacked out all the time. And I was not ever blacked out.
The claim, because it's like all the time you're drinking to black out. You mean like no recollection? You didn't know where your body was all night. People was just carrying you places?
That's right. And so...
Okay. Look, this is my Larry David. Okay.
That's not a bad Larry David. Leah says, I feel people say that a lot. They do, especially in college. They keep showing Lockie looking back at him that makes Saxon sick. Well, he's like having a flashback and Saxon's like looking at him. Lockie's like looking at him while he's fucking Chloe.
So what we learned was that they, at some point, I think Saxon started and had sex with Chloe. But when we first see him, he's laying next to them while Lachlan has sex with Chloe. And then at some point, Lachlan reaches over and assists Saxon. And that's the part that Saxon wants to throw up.
You're spoiling it. We ain't get there yet.
But that's what happened. We just need to talk about. I don't want to keep describing it.
We didn't get there yet.
That's what grosses him out.
That's the narrative. Okay, he doesn't know that yet. At this point, he
No,
still thinks
that's why he throws up. That's why he throws up. He remembers that immediately in the beginning.
no, he's thinking that he's jacking himself off to them. That's what makes him
but
throw
then
up.
he has them, but no, that makes him sick. That makes him little. But he goes to throw up when he remembers that part, because that came up twice. Because I was not surprised at the end.
So then Chelsea's telling Rick to say "I love you." She's say to put the I in front of "love you" because the I means something. Did you know that, Chanel?
Yeah, I mean, I will say like love you. I'll say love you all the day is long. I love you is like heartfelt. That's for a partner.
Okay. So then we get my favorite people on the show. Lori,
this is such a good scene.
Lori and Kate at breakfast.
So?
I think there was a little sleepover. I thought I heard some noises in the night, and then this morning, who do I see walking past my room in the same clothes he was wearing yesterday? Valentine.
What do you mean?
She was gossiping hard too. She was like, "Girl, let me tell you what I saw this morning."
It reminds me of that scene in New Girl when oh my God, what's his man's name? It starts with an M. Because I always want to call him Sheriff Lamb, but I don't want to say it's Mitch and Nick, but they're talking and he's like, "I have 2 girlfriends." He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I'm dating 2 people at the same time." He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I have 2." He's like, "So which one's your girlfriend?" He says, "Both." And he's like, "What do you mean?" That "what do you mean" was giving Nick. For those who know, if you know, you know.
I mean,
He slept over with Jacqueline.
This was Lori's face at that point too, by the way, if you're watching live. Carrie Coon's face is fantastic in this scene. Then they cut back to Jacqueline and her phone finally ringing, and it's her husband.
Hey, babe.
Hey, you.
Where have you been?
Yeah, I was on set. My phone died. You know how it is.
Huh?
He sounds super young, by the way.
I think they mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, like you could tell he's a young guy. Yeah, and so she might have really been feeling self-conscious about it.
Do you see how crazy this is? Do you see how she was pushing him on me? And all the time she wanted him, she has not changed at all.
Do you think she wanted him the entire time?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Yes. I think that it doesn't matter. I think that because if you have a whim of it, you go, let me not fuck the guy that my friend likes and I have a man and she doesn't. Like, let me not do that. Like that is like, there's something pathological in that.
He's exactly the same. God, it's so psycho.
So what are you up to? You even miss me at all?
Yes, of course I miss you. I'm just glad you finally charged your phone.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so fucking horny for you. I am.
Stop.
I am.
It's sad. She's an aging actress. You saw her yesterday. She literally lives off male attention. Which
I
one
mean,
thing
she
when you're
did get
25,
hype off
but-
male attention.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. She was, well, and female attention. Because when the women started looking at them dancing and getting jealous, that's when she really turned it up.
Yeah, but I think she was like fighting for the male attention, fighting the other females for the male attention. That's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're 45, and guess what? It's pathetic.
I didn't think you were going to care so much.
Kate, what?
Yeah, come on, Kate. Come on, Kate. Like, that's the only thing Kate did wrong here is like underestimate that like this would upset her or that there would be, I think, now had they all been married and this was like any, meeny, miny, mo of a fling, okay, cool. But like you said it yourself that she's going through it and you think she's single and lonely and she's playing palimony.
Care? I know. It's not like I was into him. She just kept pushing the idea. Do you remember all the time she did that?
I do.
Talking about how I'm the only single one, how I should hook up with them. It's demented.
I just thought you were gonna laugh about it.
Yeah, I'm laughing.
This is my favorite part. One of my favorite parts of this entire show.
I just thought you were gonna laugh about it.
Yeah, I'm laughing. It's funny. Ha!
That is so great. That is so great. That is one of the best parts of this entire series. Yeah, I'm laughing.
Okay,
Ha!
Random parallel. The episode 2 of Righteous Gemstones. Oh my God, Jesse's like asking Gideon who his mentor is, and he's like, you can tell me, I won't be mad. And as soon as he says, oh, I do talk to grandpa, he gets pissed off. And I love when somebody says, just tell me the truth, I won't care, and then immediately he's mad, because I'm like, bro, it's not me in a nutshell, but that is me, and like that's everyone. That's just a very human thing to be like, I need to know, but I also need to be able to react. And I just want to say this before we move on. That man's name is not Mitch, it is Schmidt. And I don't know where I got Mitch from. And I know if you like, New Girl is a show that has stands. So the fact that I got that wrong just disqualified. Like I just got blocked by somebody.
But also,
Yeah.
She's like, I don't care. I'm good. Hold on. Let me tell you about this other reason why I'm mad.
Yeah, exactly.
what?
Hey,
How are you doing, lady?
Here comes Valentine.
speak of the motherfucker right here. By the way, welcome to the chat code, Knox.
Okay.
I'm okay. I'm not 100%.
Did you enjoy last night?
I loved it. Loved meeting your friends. Ooh, that Vlad. Golly, he's been through a lot.
So for people who don't watch the show, Vlad spent the whole night at the club talking about how his parents are gone and his sister's a bitch or whatever he was talking about, and just like giving his sob story over like music. Like, and so Vlad actually has been through a lot.
He's a little crazy. But him and Alexei, they're just my oldest friends.
Yeah. Did you have a good time?
I love dancing with Lori.
Yo, now he's gaslighting her.
Yeah, Lori's like, nigga, if you don't get the fuck.
By the way, Laura's eating fruit with a knife and a fork. Very Chanel-like. Very Chanel-like.
Y'all have seen me fuck up food on this show, and I do not use a knife and a fork.
Jacqueline's not having breakfast?
I think she had a late night.
I'll give her that. That I'll give her. Lori could get that when she ate with that. That's before she goes too far.
Shall I book anything at the spa today?
It's okay, I don't want anything.
And tonight we talked about going to the Muay Thai fights.
I think I'm just gonna stay around the hotel.
Yeah.
She's like, this is awkward.
You know how to reach me if you need anything at all. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Valentin.
I would go watch Sagat fight. That looked like fun. So we got some comments.
I
Kate,
told y'all Valentin is a scammer at the end of the day.
Leah said Kate wants to keep Jacqueline as a friend due to her status. I wanted to have this conversation later about what's going on between the three of these, but
You can't control the
gonna
chat,
save
Brandon.
this. I know. That's what I'm saying. Leah also said what's crazy. I don't even think she wanted Valentine. She just thinks Jack is weird for the competition. She brought that up earlier in the season. Yeah, I think that's true.
I agree.
Although at the end last time, she was whispering, she was doing the thing where she's like all over him and whispering in his ear before he left. So I don't know what she was saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think attraction is definitely there's something complicated about it, but there's something about your friend putting it in your head and encouraging you, and you'd be like, no, and they keep doing it. You're like, maybe, because you are probably going through something. You probably would like to have a fling, but like that wasn't your focus here, but your friends kind of gave you the space to do it. And then that friend be like, just kidding, bitch. I took it back from you. You can't have it. You're not good enough. You didn't get there in time. I'm hot. I can have every man. Like, what do you mean? Why would you even bring it up? You could have just said, I think he's hot and I want to fuck him, and I wouldn't have stepped up at all. I would have never flirted with him. And so I get that.
Then we cut to Belinda and Zion having breakfast. She's trying to explain what happened. Zion's like, dog, I'm not even tripping. I'm glad you deserve to have a good time and let your hair down.
And then he says he hasn't been getting any. I said, what school does he go to?
He said he's been studying a lot. He was studying a lot.
Even at Amherst, they be them number one nerdy schools, they still be having pregnancy alerts.
And she's like, yeah, I'm your mama. I'm not trying to hear that shit. And she goes,
fair enough.
First, you get the money. Then you get the power. And after you get the power, it's the key to life. That's before your time, I know. You don't know money, power, respect. It's way before your time. But
I thought she was talking about the locks. And then she was like Scarface. I was like, oh yeah.
That's definitely before your time. But you probably watched that. You probably
Scarface?
Yes.
You know who loves Scarface?
Who?
My 16-year-old niece. It's like her comfort movie.
Yeah, everyone loves Scarface. It's a great movie.
Okay. I don't know if you've ever seen a skinny child watching Scarface on her own on a Saturday afternoon. You're like, this.
I mean,
you're like,
16-year-old, that's kind of the prime target for Scarface.
Mm-hmm. She didn't just discover it, is what I'm trying to get to. It's like that was like a movie.
Okay.
That's something her and her dad shared. Like, I'm just like, this is like her comfort film. This is like she's going back. This is the Notebook for her.
Oh wow. Okay.
This generation is good. Yeah, this generation's going through it. So anyway,
Zion pulled a Jesse Gemstone. And he was like, "Damn, mama, you getting gangster on me." Just like Jesse would say. And she was like, "I gotta get gangster here." He was like, what you mean you gotta get gangster here? I don't understand.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, you know what? Never mind. Change the subject. He's like, what? He's like, well, I'm not talking. Because in a second, Augustine is about to, is that what his name is, Augustine?
Ah, you're bad with names. This is your boy too, Fabian. He shows up.
I do not like Fabian. You know I hate Fabian. It's fuck Fabian. But yeah, no, she's like, I gotta tell you some shit's going on. He's like, what's going on? She's like, look, change the subject. Here he comes. And Fabian comes around with his fake ass.
Oh, Fabian just want to invite Belinda to come watch him perform.
First of all, he goes, are you feeling better about the fact that you think someone wants to murder you? You doing good about the fact that I gaslit and turned you away when you asked for safe harbor? Oh,
no, he was basically saying, oh, you still alive? Oh, all right, so you good now, right? Okay. You not dead? Did he come and kill you yet? Oh, I didn't think so.
I love that, and I love that he said, "Are you doing better?" She said, "No, not really." He said, oh, "Okay, well, anyway, so I'm having a little show," and she's like, "I think I'm gonna sing." And I love that he says that to her, like her being scared that she discovered a murderer who's on the run for murdering his wife for millions, and him being nervous to go do karaoke are like. Like these are two competing emotional battles.
I have a theory.
You think Fabian's doing the robberies?
No, I don't think you're gonna like my theory, but I got one. We'll get to it in a little bit. So then we cut back to the.
We just keep getting to it.
Yeah, it's because it's a flow. It's a flow.
Okay. Flow. We're waiting.
You got it. The flow. So then we cut back to the Ratcliffe Villa, and Lockie and Saxon show back up, and Vicky's like. It's like when you come home. I was the only child, so this never happened. But I imagine if you have siblings and somebody did something fucked up, or y'all did something together, and your sibling got caught, and snitched on you, and Vicky's like, "There's something you all should know about your sister," and she's like, "Piper never had a thesis. There's no thesis. She wants to come here and live here so she can study under some guru." Some guru. And Saxon is like, "Piper, what the fuck?" And Piper's like, "Why do you care, Saxon?" And Saxon's like, "You're my little sister. I don't want you to waste your life away." And he said,
just to be clear though, Saxon somehow became sympathetic this episode because I do understand Saxon is a tool, but that's just who he is, and that's who he was. That's his role in life. And he said, I'm going to take this role, I'm going to play it. So he's like, what do you mean? Of course I love you, and even though I treat you disrespectfully and say you're hot, that's what I'm supposed to do. Like, I'm the eldest in a rich waspy family in North Carolina. Like, what do you mean? Like, I went to Duke. So so I think it's like interesting when they underestimate that he actually cares for them. And then on the flip side, how Lachlan understood his big brotherness is also very in question right now. So I just feel for Saxon all of a sudden.
Lockie says, I actually think it sounds cool. The guy wrote some cool books. And Saxon said, name one. Buddhism for dipshits.
But also, like, Lachlan, great timing here. You were supposed to be here when she first announced it. Now this little tag along doesn't help.
No, it didn't help. She was smiling. She was happy he said that.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, come on, like, don't show up the next day talking about, oh yeah, I like the books. I do want to tell you something that I think you will find funny.
What?
So I was as people know, I'm in business school, and I was at this event where people were competing for money for something, and there was a panel of people who were representing the family of like the person who had started the thing, who's since passed away, may he rest in peace. And so the family's there, and then there's like business people. It's like a literal whole panel of people. And on the very end, there was this bored-looking teenager, like old. You know how I think everybody's young. So he could be mid-20s. He's probably 17. I don't know. You'll never guess his first name.
Lachlan,
and he had curly hair, and he looked like he was being paid to be there. He was like, I wouldn't be here if Grandpa hadn't sworn me to it on his deathbed. He's like, I do not give a fuck about this at all. And I was like, wow, Lachlan. Wow, that's the name. That is the name for the youngest grandchild who's going to inherit it all.
So then Vicky was like, if that strange man is going to have my baby, he better be the best Buddhist in China.
Which is so funny. Because she says it with she's such a mother. That is a mom. Because at some point, your mom is so busy remembering your allergies and your doctor's appointments that she just forgets where countries are, or forgets how to pronounce things.
She screams for Timothy, like, Timothy, it's time to go. And then Piper comes and asks Lockley to come, and he's like, I gotta change my clothes, but yeah, I'll come. And then he tells Saxon, I'll see you later. And Saxon is just like fucking out of it, drinking his fucking shake.
He's like, I can't. By the way, Tim's been having the best sleep of his fucking life. He's been taking them pills and just passing out like a baby everywhere. He's passing on top of coats.
Then we get to Greg Gary's crib. Top 5 crib in the history of TV. Like,
I missed it.
You didn't see his house?
I wasn't paying attention to how nice it was.
It's incredible. It's like one of the best houses I've ever seen on television.
Okay. Well, I'll see tomorrow or next week when they all go.
And so Chloe shows up and sees him swimming. And I was like, I don't lie. Greg Gary's in pretty good shape for an old white man. You got to give Greg Gary some credit.
Yeah, I mean, but again,
he had like 4 abs, at least 3 and a half.
What else do we have to do? Evil will keep you looking good.
All right, you say so. Chloe tells him she missed him and starts giving him a shoulder rub. And he's like, yeah. Which one of them brothers did you fuck? And Chloe was like, what do you mean? Why would you think? Those are like little boys to me. What are you talking about? I'm fucking 42 years old.
Just tell me. He goes, just tell me.
No, in fact, he says, in fact, he goes, tell me which one. And she goes, is that what you want? Like, are you into this? And
I'm going to tell you something about me right now. Yeah, go ahead.
Then he says, bring them over tonight. He want to have people over tonight. He has something he needs to deal with, and he needs their help.
Okay, that, 2 things. 1, that sounds like a man who's about to lock everyone in his house and burn it down. 1. 2, okay, I'm telling you what it sounds like to me. 2 is, I don't do stuff like this. I really don't. But if I did do something like this, I deny until I die. You're never getting that out of me. It's not going to take a little bit of like, just tell me before I go, okay, I did do it. I'm not admitting it. Like it will be Jax Taylor season 1 of Vanderpump Rules. It will take the whole season for me to finally admit it at the very end of the season to save the season. I'm not doing this.
Until Greg Gary got you on tape stealing boxes. Then what you gonna say?
And then I'll say they put them in my hand.
That's what you would say. Here's the thing.
I mean, that's
y'all got Greg Gary all wrong. Y'all got him all wrong. Y'all got him all wrong. He not finna hurt Belinda. He was on Belinda's Instagram because he was trying to figure out what she wants. And you know what? In this show, you got to remember what show we're watching. This show is about people with money. Okay? And it's about what money does to people.
Okay, you might be on something. Okay.
Greg Gary is going to tell Belinda, I will give you the money you need to open your spa if you shut the fuck up about me.
You're right. It's a scheme that Todd set up so that Gary would come to her with the bullshit. That's crazy. I will say this. I would prefer it to be that if that's what it is, because that's just a better outcome than Belinda floating in that water. So I definitely want to see that. But I guess the question is like, does she take that blood money? Because that's fully blood money.
I mean, it's blood money that's already been washed.
Anyway,
it's blood money that's already been washed. It's laundering. Indirect blood money. No, I'm what I'm saying. It's indirect blood money.
How? But she knows that he killed her. He killed the lady.
She don't know that. She know that he was being questioned.
Girl,
she didn't know he was dead. Okay. She didn't know she was dead till 2 days ago.
What's so crazy? That's like somebody in Baaabe being like, "Oh, there go Russell Simmons," like the one who did all that stuff. They'd be like, "You don't know that. You just know he wants to be questioned." It's like he went to a non-extraditable country to avoid being questioned. He did it.
He went to Thailand because they got nice ass houses for cheap. That's why he went there.
Okay.
That's why he went there. Like, that's what you tell your son. So then we see Porn Chai, and he's like, it was kind of awkward, right? And he's like, "Is everything okay with your son?" He was like, "Oh man, he good. Like, he gonna probably hold it over
by
me,
the way.
But I got shit on him too." He apologizes. She's like, "Don't apologize. It was great. I wanted you to come over at a great time."
I wanted you there. I would have been like, "Girl, I'll be back tonight."
He might have said that. Liz said it was so weird of him to invite her. Yeah, I mean, but I think that's why. And so then he said, listen, I know you had a dream of opening up your own business, your spa. I think that's something we could do together. And in Thailand, it's mad cheap, so we could do it here easier.
Like, are you joking me? Are you trying to literally make me fall in love with you? Like, what do you mean? You're gonna make all my hopes and dreams come true and support me and train me and learn from me? Let's get married.
And then
I would give her a finger trap ring. See, there's connections all over the place.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Yes. And then Belinda was like, "Yeah, it's still a dream." And Porn Chai was like, "We'll talk about it later." And he goes talk to his clients. So then we see
she's looking at him like, "I'm not trying to get excited, but I am getting excited."
Now she like, I heard this shit before. That white woman dragged me through the shit and then backed out.
But genuinely, there's a clear difference in the energy between the two of them, because like when Jennifer,
Tanya.
Oh my God. No, I know Tanya's her name, but what's her name?
Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge. When Jennifer Coolidge says it, she was looking in two places at the same time. Like she was never really there, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like she seemed like she always had a fluffy dog in her arms. And whenever she talks, I'm thinking about that dog from Legally Blonde. Like you can't take her seriously. Whereas Porn Chai looked into her soul and said, "I want to partner with you." That's two different offers.
Rick's in Bangkok meeting with Sir. I always forget how to say the name.
Sritala.
Yes, I like it. Sritala.
Remember her and Fabian going back and forth?
And so she says,
"You don't remember that?" And Fabian being like, "I know I'm saying it right." And she's like, "Sritala."
No, was it the first episode?
You don't remember that? Oh, no. That was early. Okay.
He said, she was like, oh yeah, man, I know the owner of the restaurant. He got $1 billion tuna business, so the seafood's fire. And then Rick looks over to see his security guard sitting back there watching. And he goes, look, dog, listen, my friend been watching all your movies. He's mad excited, but the character you're going to be playing is based on you. So he want to get to know you and your own element. And she was like, he want to see me in my habitat? And he was like, yeah, if that's not too much to ask. And she was like, my husband at the crib, he's sick. And Rick was like, oh, man, he won't even know we there. It would be like we not even there. We just come to have a drink.
What's really interesting about this, I think, is that like I feel like Hollywood really sets itself up for social engineering, because this could absolutely happen. You have an eccentric director who's like, I actually only want to come and watch how you hold your coffee cup, and that'll be how we make the movie, right? Like that does happen, and that's how you end up getting people who can take advantage of that, like the situation we had with Weinstein. But it's also like, babe, how far are you going to let this go before you say...
She's also probably like, I got 2 badass security guards, so like this white man not finna take them down.
Yeah, he's not that stupid. Yeah, fair enough.
So then, so Rick's like, all right, we'll meet you at your house. And she was like, man, you should have told me. You had me come all the way in town.
But to be fair, yeah, like we could have just met at the crib instead. By the time you made me get my rickshaw and come out here. By the way, they still do rickshaws. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
When I was in Japan, they were definitely paying people to do rickshaws. And I was like, are y'all? I'd rather be on a horse. What are we doing? They had on like sandals. Like it was crazy. I was like, this, you know what? You got to get it how you live it. You got to get it how you live it.
I went to a Texas football game and it was mad hot. And I was super like dehydrated and tired and drained. So I had to walk back. I actually took the bus down because I didn't feel like driving to Austin from Dallas. And so I was walking back to the bus stop, which is in downtown Austin, which is like 2 miles from University of Texas campus. And I couldn't make it. I was so I was literally about to pass out. Then I got one of them people that ride around the bikes, you know, with the seats on the back. And they had to ride me to the fucking bus stop. And they charged me $50 to go like a quarter of a mile.
My question is this. Did you not have your phone?
What was I going to do with my phone?
What year was this?
This was this year.
You don't have Uber on your phone?
You think I'm taking an Uber after a football game?
Do you think that the $50 what you would have paid wouldn't have been less than $50?
I thought I could make it. It was only a 2-mile walk.
I'm telling you that you should have just double checked. I'm letting you know because he got over on you. He said,
I looked it up. They surcharge on Texas games. They surcharge.
Right, but I'm saying, what was the Uber surcharge? The Uber surcharge wouldn't have been more than $40.
Uber wasn't going to take me a 3/4 of, like 1/3 of a mile.
Oh, it would have. Now one thing it is going to do is it's going to take you where you want to go. But anyway, that is very interesting. You made his night.
So then they get to the Buddhist camp and Piper checks in for her appointment. She goes in to see the monks. She's super excited. She's like, I'm coming back for the intensive in the summertime, but I just want to sit with you for a few minutes. And she explains that she's lost and everything's pointless and she don't give a fuck about what her family cares about.
Yeah, she has a really sweet scene with the monk where she's like, I'm lost.
And his books helped her like get to his books like really helped her. By the way, we got 100 people watching between YouTube and Twitter, so thank you guys for watching. If you watch on Twitter, go over to YouTube, youtube.com/@WeWasWatching and like the video. Help us out over there and hit subscribe. So then she was like, but my parents, like they don't like, they not really sold yet, so they want to ask you some questions. So can I go grab them and they come in here and talk to you? He was like, yeah, tell your parents to come talk to me. I don't give a fuck.
To be completely fair, though, anywhere where people go and do room and board, there needs to be somebody who's willing to answer those questions. Like, that's just that. I would have been surprised had they been like, no, we do not speak at this retreat. I'd be like, no, somebody gonna have to come to the front and talk to the people who pay the bills. And then she goes out and her mom is missing. And I was like, this is such a mother. Like Victoria is just, there's some things that moms just do. And that was her. And you look, this is later, but like you just look up and she's just outside. She's
No,
just
this was
talking
the
to people,
scene.
fucking shit
He's
up.
over there talking to
Oh,
some
yeah.
other monks with her umbrella.
She goes, I'm Victoria. What's her last name?
Ratcliffe.
I'm Victoria Radcliffe, basically like putting her hand out for them to like kiss it, and they're like silent monks. They're like,
And she's like, they don't speak English. When Piper comes up.
yeah, it's like they're not concierge, like they're doing their own thing. And then when Piper comes and apologizes, they're like, thank you. Like we were so confused.
So we cut back to the resort. Guy talks at the entrance of the Ratcliffe Villa. And then but he's just looking at it. Then we cut back and a monk comes up and what? Monk comes up and scares her. Tells her he gotta go check on the client. Oh, I put monk. Mook. Mook comes up and scares Guy Talk. And she's basically talking to him, and she's mad excited though, because he's like, oh, they gave me a gun and I gotta go to the range. Because she's like, are we still on for the night? And he was like, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit later though, because I gotta go to the gun range. And she's like, why? He's like, they gave me a gun. They want me to like have some more authority. She's like, oh, you got responsibility. Look at you moving up. Boy, I'm so happy for you. And he was like, I'll hit you up later. I got something to do.
He
So she's
said,
like, all right.
Guy Talk said, quit eating shrimp with wimps and come eat lobster with a monster.
Where's that from?
It's been going around. I really like it.
Okay.
It's my favorite. That's my new pickup line. Come eat lobster with a monster.
Of course she would bring that.
I do this for the kids. You know, every once in a while we have kids who tune in and we need to keep them energized. Don't swipe the TikTok, guys. We have your memes here.
I don't. I'm old. So then we cut
Wait,
to
can
the
I tell you
pool.
something? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It's
Go ahead.
unrelated.
No,
It's okay.
go ahead. You can tell me something.
My friend was saying that she hadn't watched the Severance finale yet, and you know how I feel about spoilers. Like I would never actually spoil somebody. Like I don't do the spoiler shit, but I may give you a hint, but I don't do whatever. So I was fucking with her. I was like, well, like, did anybody tell you yet that everybody died? And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say that. And she goes, oh, you didn't ruin it for me. I still don't know how it happens. I'm like, do you think I would actually spoil the end of season 2 for you, like in any way as a joke? Even
Your friend is Chelsea.
I was like, yeah. I was like, please do not do my character like that. I would never spoil the end of something like that.
That says something about you.
Okay.
That she expected it, took it in
No,
stride.
exactly. No, that's real. That's what it was. She's like, bitch, I know the type of foolishness you do.
So Saxton goes to the pool, sits next to Chelsea. She asks if he's okay. You seem freaked out. He's like, do I? No, I'm good. But do I? Really? Do I? I'm good though. But why didn't you hook up with me? And she's like, because I got a boyfriend and he's my soulmate. And Saxton was like, what the fuck does that even mean? And she goes, once you're connected with someone on a spiritual level, you can't go back to cheap sex. And hooking up with you would be an empty experience because you are soulless. And I was like, God damn.
Reads him for filth. But honestly, like, he had that shit coming, because think about how he's shown up consistently. Like, what I like about her is she's not being mean. And I'm not saying I did say earlier I have sympathy for Saxon, but in the like human kind of way. But what I will say is it's okay to treat people like, if they've been assholes since you met them, like they're an asshole. Like, just because they're cool doesn't mean we have to pretend like you're not an asshole. So I do like that about her.
So then we cut back to the monk, and Tim goes in. He's like, hey, my daughter want to join. And he's like, so you want to understand why? And he's like, yeah. He's like, many people from your country, they come over here, dog. They got a spiritual malaise. They lost connection, lost family. They looking for something to get connected to.
He's preaching. He's preaching because he's like, the Western experience is fucked.
He says you're chasing money and pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone run from pain towards the pleasure. But then when you get there, you only find more pain. And you can't outrun the pain. And that hits him right in his heart, right where he needed it.
And that's when I said, when as soon as Tim went in there, I said, actually, this whole motherfucking family needs meditation. Every single one of them needs an intensive. Like, every single one of them is going through something where, like, they need, like Kendrick said, like, strip the ego down and take ayahuasca. Like, they all need to just do a hard reset.
So then he said, let me ask you another question. What do you think happens when we die? And he's like, that's a great question.
Which, by the way, like that's how you know he was like he forgot he even had a daughter. He's like, wow, let's just talk. You want to just talk?
So he goes, when you was born, you in like an ocean. And then when you get born, he's like, before you born, you're in the ocean. And then when you become born, you become a drop of water that's going up. And it's going up and it's going up and it's going up and it's going up. And he's like, you go through all of life's ups and downs. And then when you die, you come back and you join the giant consciousness. So it's not bad.
And there's been themes since we started of water and like purity and all that. And so I think I love, I mean, that's comforting. I think it's like, I know people always want to be like, there's nothing after you die. And like, we just proved it in this movie. But I do think it's really nice to have like comforting feelings about death. So I really appreciate this.
And so Tim appreciated it. Then we cut back to the Ratcliffe's. Guy Top basically runs in. He's running through the crib looking for the gun. And then we cut to the Cougars, who are at the pool. And we get this scene.
I have to say something. I can't just not say anything. Why?
Why do you have to?
Yeah, she's like, wait, hold on. What do
Because
you
it
mean
just
you
feels
have to? You don't have to do shit.
One person's snake is another person's, good manners.
Hold on,
We're
wait
all
a second.
friends, it's
Because
whatever.
Kate is cooking. Kate is right though. Like when it comes, I mean, just the whole point of this whole show and seeing these different interactions of different cultures, she's right though. Like to some people, it's like some people's I can't sit here and just pretend this isn't happening is what somebody else has been taught you never bring up. And that is what's so interesting about how some cultures really do clash.
Mm-hmm.
What she wants. It's not a big deal.
It's not a good idea.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh, we're just talking about
Fair.
our kids.
We know about Valentine.
Lori's like, I'm not with the bullshit right now.
Now that's fair enough.
What about him? But he spent the night. So, how was it? Nothing happened.
Why is she gaslighting them? They clearly know.
So the reason why she's gaslighting them is because her dumbass thought that she thought that her man was going to leave her. And so she needed that moment to feel alive and have sex with Valentine to feel validated. And she wasn't thinking about Lori or anybody else. She was just thinking about herself. And then her man called her back and she realized she was being insecure and she cheated and she was not in the right. And so now she has to lie to everybody about it because she did not like, now she doesn't have an out of like, oh, he was cheating on me and now I'm cheating on him. Mm-hmm. She's just a cheater.
He came over for a while, but then...
By the way, he was totally cheating on her. He was lying his ass off.
Okay, well, you know what? That's the kind of thing I appreciate because I really thought he was really calling her ass back. So, boom.
There's no charges at a movie set, really?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Like, you have an assistant who's, like, obsessed with making sure you have what you need or else she's getting fired. So, please give her that phone and let her charge it.
You're so funny.
That's so funny. You're so funny.
She got it. She ate with that one.
You're so funny. What do you mean? It's just funny. So what? You and Harrison have an open relationship or something? No. Okay, well. Well, don't worry. It's like you said, what happened in Thailand stays in Thailand. I told you nothing happened. Jacqueline, get real. Okay, I need a drink. Excuse me. Can we get 3 margaritas, please?
Oh, just 2. I don't need one.
Shut up, Kate. Have a drink for fuck's sake.
What did Kate do in this moment? She didn't do nothing.
Okay, I'm so honest though. Like she kind of was cooking with that because first of all, first of all, I do like that she laughed, and when she laughed at Jacqueline, she snorted because she was like, "Bitch, stop being ridiculous and stop fucking lying," which I appreciated. But then, secondly, Kate is being annoying. Like, girl, just let me order this margarita at this all-inclusive ass resort and don't drink it, and that's okay.
Kate's like, how you know I didn't want Spindrift? Fuck.
Can I ask, and I'm just curious, why did you keep pushing him on me when it was always your plan to hook up with him yourself?
Are you crazy? I never had a plan to do anything.
I don't care. I'm just curious.
Whatever, Lori. You're not just curious.
She's right. You're not just curious. You salty.
True.
You're obviously mad about something. Otherwise, you wouldn't be coming at me like this.
She just told you what she's mad about. Don't do that. Now, that's the part where I'm like,
No,
you're really
she said
gaslighting,
she's
'cause I
not
just-
mad.
But I'm saying about something, like, I just told you what the issue is. Even if I said it wasn't an issue, I just laid out your actions for you in front of you.
Okay, so then say it with your chest. That's what
Agreed,
Jacqueline's
but don't
saying.
do that.
Say it with
But
your
you
chest.
gaslit me first.
I don't know. When Kate told me she saw him coming out of your room this morning, you did. It just made me laugh. It's like nobody ever changes. We're still the same people we were in the 10th grade. It's just funny. It's funny.
Not sure what that means, but okay.
This is what you always did. Never mind. Forget it. It doesn't matter. What?
I'm not gonna lie, Lori sounded a little salty at the end. She sounded like, man, when we was in 10th grade, all the boys liked you and they ain't want me. And the boy that I really
By the way,
liked, he liked you.
Yep. By the way, it's okay for Lori to be salty because in this friend group dynamic, if you have found a partner, you are supposed to focus your romantic energy on your partner and encouraging me to find mine. We are not here for your fucking fling while I'm still figuring it out. Like, that just doesn't make sense. And I do want to validate, like, for all the Loris in the world, like, that Jacqueline is not your friend. She's not your friend because she just swore up and down that she got a man who can't keep his hands off of her, and she also needs to be the one to get the attention from the one slut at the resort. Stop.
I mean, what you want her
sorry,
to do?
I've been neglecting the chat. I wanted to check on the chat. Sorry. So Chloe's a bad liar. Leah says Chloe's a bad liar. It's so weird of him to invite her, but she was good at acting scared too. This was about Gregory, and then also Lori is so real, like, cut the BS, rightfully so. I agree.
So then we get back to the compound and Kevin comes out. She's talking to Victoria. She's like, so what'd you think? And he's like, he's legit. I like him. And Piper's like, see, you gotta accept it. And she's like, I don't gotta accept shit. You know what? I'll accept it. Actually, I won't accept it. I'll just shut the fuck up.
Honestly, Victoria, this is when I said, oh, this woman is crazy and she's annoying and she's entitled, but she's still a mom who loves her kids, because Cosby showed her. She said, oh, you want to do this thing? Well, how about this? We're going to set up a simulation where you get what you want until you realize you don't actually want it.
And then Lockie says he'll stay with her overnight. And I don't know about that one. So then...
Yeah. That's the best. That's the most polite way to describe it. Like, Lockie, you might need to be in isolation for a little bit.
He might need something. Rick and Frank meet, and Rick's basically telling him what he needs from him. Frank's like, look, dog, man, I done fucked 1,000 men and women out here. Like, I'm trying to live a different life right now. I'm not this life
Literally,
anymore.
that's literally what he said.
And Rick says, look, I'm not even trying to do shit. And he's like, so why you ask me for a gun? He's like, look, I won't even bring the gun. I just want him to know the pain he caused.
I know you don't watch the previews, but he definitely brings a gun.
Well, we see it this episode that he brought the gun.
Oh.
When he's in the boat, he opens his coat and the gun's in his coat. And Frank kind of looks over him and goes, oh, fuck. Well, it's at the end of the episode. And so then we get in there. Rick says, look, I just need to talk to him. And It's gonna take 10 minutes. I just need to show him what the fuck is up, that he fucked my life up, and then I'm gonna leave. He's like, all right. So then we cut back to the Ratcliffe clip. Guy Talk goes in. He's still searching for the gun. He looks at the drawer. He finds it in the drawer, and we're like, oh, God, you got to get the fuck out of there, because we see Tim and
if Vicky had caught your ass
back.
in there, you would have been fired on a technicality. You would have been fired on your day off, and you like the gun would have been the least of your worries. You would have had a white lady saying you were robbing her.
And he gets back in. He gets out just in time and walks past him, and they didn't even fucking notice him. Since he's all worried.
No,
like,
they noticed him. I think Tim noticed him, but Tim was like, I don't have time for this.
Tim was looking like he was in cloud nine.
I mean, Tim might have also just been, if he did notice him, he probably was relieved because he needs the gun to be out of he doesn't need that in his house anyway.
So then he gets back to his post and Lek is there and he's like, where the fuck you been? I want to take you to the shit, but the gun's missing. He's like, oh, I got the gun right here. I was just doing patrol. And he was like, all right.
Just loose in his pocket, by the way. Not in a holster, just loose in a phone case.
Leah said she was relieved he got the gun. Yes, very much so. He needed to win.
I think
that
all
needed to win bad.
Also, I think we all were nervous of like, we know there's a shooting later. Like, where does it come from? And is it him going off? Like, it could be anything. So I think you're just like, all right, as long as this gun is safe for a night, we can. Nobody dies this episode.
And then we get my two favorite scenes of the show back to back, and I have it in video because I just love this. I love Vicky being Vicky, and then we get the Saxton full review.
Would you encourage her to move to a monastery? What's next? You ready to shave her head and start banging a bongo in Times Square?
She's making points.
I've been to Times Square many times. I've never seen a bald person banging a bongo.
But she's saying like, bro, our child is at risk. Now, what she says after this is she's going very far. But she is like, bro, we did not put all that money in a private school for her dumb ass to run off and be like poor and like, I don't even think she's saying politically or religiously. She's just saying like, we literally have money so that our kids will have money.
She is, man, this performance has been so great to me of her. Like, this character is just incredible to me.
I think it'd be a good experience for her to live for a while without all the creature comforts that she's used to.
I don't want her thinking she'll be just fine if she's poor. She needs to fear poverty, Tim, like everyone else we know.
Look at her while she's just putting her fucking moisturizer on, just so casually.
But she'll make good decisions.
But we want our kids to be tough, don't we? Resilient, you know? Because what if we lost everything?
We're not going to lose everything.
No.
No. And if we did, honestly, I don't know if I'd want to live.
I screamed at my CBS. Why would they make her go here in a time where I told you he has a couple options, right? When it comes to violence. And I'm just like, please, ma'am, do not give this man ideas about how you'd be better off dead.
I said Chanel was right. Maybe he is going to be a family annihilator.
Why would you say that? What does that mean?
Because now he's like, wait, is that a sign?
I think at this age, I'm meant to live an uncomfortable life. I don't have the will.
Which is crazy, because like when you think about racism in this country, there were great grandmothers cleaning houses and taking care of babies, like within their will, outside their will. And she is in her mid-50s, and she is just like, yeah, I don't have time for it.
To be fair about those great grandmothers, they weren't rich. And then in their 50s and 60s, got poor, started cleaning houses.
That doesn't make it better.
That does make a difference. That does make a difference.
It's worse because if you feel that way, you should have had enough empathy to give and be like, you know what? No woman over 60 should have to clean a house. But no, you don't care about other women. You care about you being old and poor.
No, I'm saying there is something about having something and then not having it as opposed to never having it.
Oh, I totally get that, but the idea, that's kind of the problem with capitalism, is you feel entitlement, and the truth, like the whole point of capitalism is there's an invisible hand that picks and chooses based on the whims of people and demand and supply. So there should be no billionaires. That actually shouldn't be what it is. Like, that's when you're actually not taking advantage of the system that's when you're taking advantage of the system and not like letting the system work how it's supposed to. Whatever. Anyway, welcome to the Chad Zip Zone.
You do? Sure you do.
No. I just don't have it in me.
This is one of my favorite parts. Watch her right here.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I ever did.
Why is she standing to his soul like that?
Watch her.
She goes, ooh, lavender. Wheatgrass.
Tim's fucked up. All right, then go ahead.
I do genuinely. Do they do the flashback here, or they just talk about it?
They do it all.
I do not want to see the flashback again.
You don't want to see it?
I never want to see that again in my life.
Okay, then we'll just hear it.
Okay. By the way, her nonchalantness, Chloe's not a good person.
I don't know if she's a bad person. I think she's just
because Chloe definitely encouraged this, and I will say that, like, oh, you can joke all you want to or whatever, but like there's some things you just don't even like. It's not a joke I would make with brothers, sisters, cousins, nobody. So it's like she initiated all this. She had this stuff in her mind, and then she turns it back on him, and then she like weirdly assumes that Gary, who probably is as twisted as her, is twisted in the same way. Yeah. So anyway, we can keep going.
How did it go? I'm not sure. He knows about you.
Me? How does he know about me?
Good question.
Well, I basically told him. He asked me point blank. I can't just lie to his face.
What do you mean? Yes, you can.
Like, what are you talking about? Just fucking lie.
I mean, I'm not joking though. Like, this is what I meant earlier. Is like, if you're going to be a straight up dog ass cheater and take that man's boat and cheat on him on it, at the very least, lie as if you care about his feelings. You might as well have told him, "Hey, I'm gonna fuck somebody else" before you went if you were gonna do this.
He doesn't seem that mad.
He doesn't?
You should come to the house tonight, both of you. We're having people over. It's gonna be fun.
I'm not gonna go there if he thinks that I
so
hooked
optimistic.
up with
He doesn't care. Okay, he invited you. I thought he'd be jealous too, but for some reason he's not. He seemed kind of like turned on or something.
No, he did not.
Maybe when
A little bit he did. Because he said, which one did you fuck? And then he turns his body and he goes, tell me which one did you have sex with?
But that could have been to be like, because I'm about to beat your ass.
It didn't look like that, though. It looked like he was kind of interested. That's why she said,
wait,
why?
You know what? I'll take a man's opinion on that.
It looked like, that's what it looked like to me.
it's a threesome.
Maybe he's cut.
But to be fair, though, I think what is interesting here is you were saying last episode, you think he might kill you. So how are you so quick to believe, oh no, actually he's into it? Like, she's a little bit too, I need you to figure out what kind of man this man is before you keep bringing people onto a boat where billionaires have died on boats already on this show.
Oh.
A threesome?
We've never had a threesome before.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, but not with another guy.
What about last night?
That wasn't a... I mean, it wasn't a threesome. Are you kidding me? That was my little brother.
Yeah, and you guys made out.
That was a joke.
What part was a joke?
You guys forced us to.
I didn't force him to jerk you off.
Uh-oh.
Okay. This is what I don't like, because you still got like, it's kind of like in court where they say you open the door to this. Like, Chloe, you opened the door, and you opened a door that just did. You conjured a door that didn't have to exist, and then opened it and cracked it open and left it open and then lock and walk through it. So I do not like that she's gaslighting him right now, as if like, now what Chelsea says is completely fair, but what Chloe says, I'm like, that's why I don't. She doesn't give me great vibes.
Okay. I disagree with you 100%. I know someone who's been in a similar situation. Okay? I know someone's been in a similar situation. But what they did was, it was two brothers with a girl or a woman. It was college age, so a woman. And it was all consensual. But they weren't really in the room at the same time. Like
kind of took turns.
But they were kind of in the room at the same time, but they weren't like, it wasn't a threesome, if you get what I'm saying. It was like one and then the other, and then it was done. It wasn't even back and forth. It wasn't like I went from you, then 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 we were finished. It was like one, then the other, and then they were done. Right? And
right,
so
I'm saying
in that situation,
I
was gonna say, in that situation, the brother didn't reach over to the other brother and jack him off. So the woman had nothing to do with that. That was Lockie.
I think that's what I'm saying. I think that Lockie is the perpetrator here, but I'm also saying that that Chloe, the difference is Chloe brought the drugs. Chloe encouraged both of them to take the drugs. Chloe knows that Lachlan is underage. Chloe had this plot this whole time to have sex with both of them, even though, but I don't know if he actually is. He's still a high school senior. Like, I think that was a joke. He might be 17 being 18.
Saxton was lying?
Or also, by the way, I don't think 18 in one day is enough for anything. I think that, like, I know that's like an arbitrary line that we draw, but that like 18, fresh 18, I sent you a video today of me when I was 16. I look like I'm 9 years old. Like, I just look back on it and I'm like, there's no scenario in which you need to be waiting for an 18-year-old to be like, great, I'm glad this is technically legal now. So I just want to say that. But then in general, I think
I had a full beard.
Oh, Lord.
Full beard. Fucking hair. I actually had hair back then. 6'2".
You a victim.
Like 230 pounds.
You a victim.
No,
it's not good to be old with an 18-year-old. You're supposed to be young and a child.
I'm saying you wouldn't have guessed that I was 18.
I know, I'm joking. You never seen a video. I wish you knew the videos I reference. You don't know any of the things I reference.
I'm too old to be on TikTok.
You a victim that's a Vine. Anyway, so what I just want to say is that, like, I think that she kind of masterminded some of this. And I always say the TV test is just switch it. If she was a man and if she was a man her age, and then it was two sisters, even if the older sister was like, let's get out there and let's do it, that does not mean that, like, you're faultless for encouraging them. And I think her procuring the drugs is the number one thing.
No,
what Chelsea
she knows.
is still there.
Well, she knows because she says to Greg Gary, they're kids. They're like kids to me.
That's what I'm saying.
She knows that.
And so that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, in this whole dialogue, and this is what, going back to like the conversations it brings up, what's disturbing here is I think people I've seen somewhat online they're disturbed about the male on male part of it more than the sibling part of it. And then no one's concerned about the grooming part of it.
I don't think she's grooming Saxton. I think Saxton's old enough to make his own decisions.
I didn't say she's grooming Saxton, but she's grooming somebody in a situation. Yeah, like, and that's enough grooming. You didn't groom one of them.
But I don't give her any blame for the sibling situation at all.
I don't give her any blame for that either, but but actually, no, I take it back. I do blame her. And the reason why I do blame her, because if we agree that 18 is still an impressionable age, your brain's still developing, both of them have been, like, Saxton is not grooming him for this. It's a different word. Saxton's almost like training him to be misogynist. Yes. He's training him to be like a fuckboy, right? And so it's just like those two things coalesce into him making that decision and being confused and doing something. Yes. I'm not saying that Lachlan wasn't wrong, and I'm not saying that he didn't assault his brother. What I am saying though is like the layers of it and complication, it makes you wonder, like, is that something that would have happened regardless, or is that this environment? Is he confused? And so anyway, I just don't. That's why kids should not be going to war at 18, because your brain is not developing. You're not ready to make those decisions. I do think Lachlan should be held accountable for his actions, but I just don't know if I don't know that if the two adults involved in the situation though don't have this in common. Now, because again, switch it around, Saxon and Lockie, we would all be like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So it's like we can't take that out of context just because there's like a 7-year age gap between them. Anyway, I actually hate this because for multiple reasons. I do not like the storyline, and I feel like it's like I said in the beginning, I think it brings up more than just this, and it's not just like a funny thing to discuss. And I don't feel like they're getting, now maybe we'll talk about it later, but I don't think they're giving us the warnings we need for this kind of stuff.
What do you mean that never happened?
Their faces are fucking funny in this scene, though. I'm not gonna lie.
No, because this is Chelsea's first hearing of it. So Chelsea's like, wait, what?
But I don't remember that. I blacked out.
Well, I didn't. So...
Shit. That fucking drug. What the fuck did you give us anyway?
God, I don't think there's a drug in the world that would make me get with my brother.
She has a point.
Hey, I don't judge, okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Everyone has their thing. It's fine.
No, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's definitely not a thing. Okay? It's not.
Okay.
Okay, let's just forget about it, please. Seriously.
As long as you come for dinner tonight.
What?
Yeah, I would go in the house too.
I'm actually just gonna go back to my room.
Correct.
I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, see you tonight. Bring your brother.
What?
Chelsea was being so nice when he was around, and she was like, what is happening?
But Chelsea needs to start being like, Chloe, what the fuck did you do? Like, that's the only thing where I need Chelsea to be a little bit more judgmental of this chick she just met.
Yes.
Because there's not judging you, and then there's being like...
I think the show wants us to believe that Chloe's like 22 and that she's like 25 and she's dating this older man, but I don't think that's the case. I think Chloe's like 40.
Yeah, Chloe doesn't give... I mean, in real life, she's 38. So it's like, she definitely doesn't give 25. Like, I think the way they cast the teenagers, because these are we proved already, this is 20, 30-year-olds. These are grown people playing these roles.
Yeah.
But she does, like, I agree with you. She does not give actual 23-year-old with a young guy. She gives, like, she knows what she's doing. She's been around the block, and she knows the game. Yeah, so it's just like
I think the show wants us to think that, like, Chloe's like just out of college and Lockie's like going into college, and so it's like,
no, I don't think they do. I think they're good with. I think they know what they're doing, because you don't think that Chelsea's super young, and the whole point is that Chelsea and them connect because they're similar people in similar situations. So I do think the show. I we'll see. Like, I'll give him a little bit of latitude, but the kiss was enough for me, and so it's like, you only get so much before I'm like, where are we going with this? And you need to make it actually worthwhile and not just like trauma corn. So anyway, yeah, that was a Saxon. Saxon's gonna have a rough. Saxon needs some meditation for sure.
So then we go to the Cougar's crib, and Lori's like, "So when we meeting up for dinner?" And they're like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, let's figure out dinner."
I love her.
And then we're going to go watch the Muay Thai fights. And Kate was like, bitch, an hour ago, you said you didn't want to see that shit. The fuck wrong with you?
Yeah, because I was irritated. But I'm good now. She's like, let's do it. I'm not trying to drag the party down.
And she said Valentine would be there, Jacqueline. And Jacqueline was like, all right, bitch. Okay, I'm out. And then Kate's like, why are you antagonizing her? And Lori says, I'm not like you. I have to be honest. I was like, Jesus, you were just like triple threat match.
Yeah,
WrestleMania.
It was a triple threat match because she was coming at Kate, and Kate, she didn't have to be like, Kate told me. She could have said, I heard him or I saw him leaving. Like, she could have easily lied and taken her out of it. One. Two is, I do think if you have these issues with Kate, then these need to be things that y'all have talked about and you've been on the same page. Like, sometimes I feel like we differ in this thing where, like, y'all had a serious conversation and then you can reference it in passing. Like, you know, sometimes we're different in these ways, but like, that's like a Baaabe. Like, I don't like when people throw out like you're trying to disarm me by telling me something about myself when I'm just saying, hey, I don't like how you're talking today.
And she leaves and she says, Kate, she comes in and goes, Lori was just drunk. And Jacqueline was like, you know, I got all the blog sites, paparazzi, what's the T, you know, T.S. Madison, TMZ, all talking about me nonstop. And so I go on a trip across the country so I can get away from anybody who knows me. And I get here and my two oldest friends spend all this time talking behind my back. Fucked up.
She tried it.
She's not wrong.
But she started it. Her and Kate were the first ones over on the side talking about Lori.
And then Kate started it with Lori.
That's true. But I think that I think that she's not like, she still deserves to have like good people around her, but they're not talking about, when they were first talking about her, they were more in the wrong because they were just talking shit about her to talk shit about her. I do think that like Lori is upset and Lori's being immature and not like just speaking it out like clearly, but I do think that Lori is like saying it because she wants to say it. Like she's kind of like, this is her processing that out loud, which is more valid than when they were just talking shit just to do it.
Yeah, 100%. But they were also talking shit about Kate, about being a Trump supporter.
That's what I'm saying. They all did. Like, it was a three-way tie. So it's like now, okay, so that was all, okay, let's just say bad behavior, but we all did it. All right, so it's three wrongs, make a left. Okay, cool. So now now we're resetting, and now actually she is talking shit, and like, you have to acknowledge that you do it too. So Leah says gaslighting queen. Exactly. Like Leah, like if Jacqueline had a chance to talk about either one of them any time of day, she would. Actually, no, I take that back. What it is she's actually friends with Kate, but she's not actually friends with Lori. And so for her, she probably feels more hurt because she doesn't do it both ways. Whereas Kate is just like, Kate's open for everybody because Kate's like, I actually am both of your friends. So
no, she did do it both ways. She talked about Lori first, and then her and Lori talked about Kate being a Trump supporter.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Oh, they did. Okay, yeah. Then I feel like she got to relax.
And then Kate and Lori were talking shit about Jacqueline first when she said her face was sandblasted because of all the work she got done, and then they started talking about her again with Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and that was
me. The sandblasting was me.
Yeah, they said she got a sandblasted face. So all of them are like fucked up. But I think Leah was right in the chat earlier. I think Kate and Jacqueline are going to end up against Lori at the end of this.
Yeah, because I do think it's like what was said in the chat, like Jacqueline is a more powerful friend, so she has more social capital. And then when we think about the type of person Kate is going to lean more towards status and like the kick-ass single mom who pays palimony. Also, I think Lori is a more direct, and neither one of them feels more like true, like that truth teller gene does not really resonate with either one of them truly. So yeah, I think that I agree with you. And I think what's sad about it is it does ultimately come down though to like some level of like it does feel like it comes down to some level of judging single women, like judging a single mother and not really having enough empathy to understand like those experiences can mold your personality and make you like. Lori doesn't have time in her career or in her ex relationship to pussyfoot around. Like she needs to be direct and clear, and that's the thing they don't really have space for.
Well, I think that's true, but I think they're all flawed, and I think what the show is trying to tell us is Lori is jealous of the life that Kate has. as like a family, like as a mom and wife. And she's jealous of Jacqueline because Jacqueline's always been the pretty girl who's famous now and is like that person. Jacqueline is obsessed with attention, dies it, needs it, even though she says she doesn't want it. And she values friends at a lower status than her because then it makes her feel like she's above them, right? And even though she pretends that she's not, like when she first got there, she was like, "Oh, do you want my room? I'll sleep outside just to spend time with you," right? She wasn't gonna do that ever, right? And then Kate is the person who's just like is not independent at all anymore, and she sees the independence in both of them in a way that she no longer has because she's tied to her husband. But then she's also the person who's willing to gossip to each other to make the other person seem bad to make herself feel better. So they're all like going around it in this way that's fucked up.
Agreed. Spot on. Great job. Look, you started in the beginning of the season like, wow, I know nothing about these people. I wonder what's going to happen. And now you're able to read them down to filth.
That's right. Because I can relate to white women. Right.
And we love white women on the show.
You do. So then we go back. We go back to the compound and they praying. And then Lockie, he's not taking it serious, and he sees Piper, so then he tries to take it serious.
No, what it is they're meditating. And okay, this reminded me of another story, which is right after my a breakup I had like 7 years ago. How old am I? Like 7, 8 years, whatever. Like big significant breakup. It was real bad. I was trying, whenever I'm going through something, I do encourage myself to like jump into more healing modalities and try stuff that I might do regularly, but I definitely do it then. So I went to go do acupuncture, right? And so they sat and they put all this stuff in my back. They had the needles there. I was laying on a table and I started thinking about the breakup. And within like 7 minutes, I said, y'all come back and take this shit off me. So I got to go. Like, I was like, I actually cannot sit still and think about this right now. Like, it's too fresh. And so that like meditation is beautiful, but sometimes you'd be like, okay, actually this thought is punching me in the head. Like I cannot do it. And that's what happens. Cause he goes, oh, think about this thought and let it fly away. And Lachlan's like, oh shit. He has the memory of what happens. And he's like, I'm not able to sit with this. And he gets uncomfortable immediately. Yes. Lisa Lawless, welcome to the chat, says Saxon needs to go to the monastery for a year to find his soul. Every single one of them needs to be in a 1 year intensive where, and by the way, that's about to be where they can afford to live. So to be fair, but I think that every single one of them needs their own thing because Victoria needs to find value outside of money. Tim needs to find penance for his financial crimes. Saxon needs to find a soul, which I agree. Lachlan needs to do fucking restorative justice treatment for his assault. And then Piper needs to be honest with herself. Because I do think, here's a real question. Do you think Piper's going to be able to deal with the night at the monastery?
No, I already said this last episode. I think at the end, Piper's going to be the one that's least likely to want to do this shit.
Yeah, she's not about that life in real life. I do think actually who might go is Lachlan.
Yes.
To get out of dealing with the shit.
So then we go back to the hotel. He goes back to Gaytok, and he's at the range, and he's fucking hitting that bullseye. And Les comes up and was like, you did great, dog, but like I don't think you got the heart to shoot nobody. And Gaytok was like, watch this, basically.
Yeah, because by the way, he was doing great. I was like, okay, not Gaytok coming through with the like that is actually a very surprising thing for Gaytok to have like laser, like what's his name? Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye. Like Gaytok came through like Hawkeye. I'm like, okay, all right.
So then we see Belinda, and she's walking back, and she gets cut off by Greg Gary, and she's startled. And he's like, listen.
I would have been generally startled, definitely startled by the man you've been running from the whole time.
You see that big, beautiful fucking house at the top of the hill? That's me. I got that crib. Having people over, having a dinner party. You should come through. And Belinda's like, my son just got here.
Hell no.
Yeah. He's like, tell your son to come through too. I don't care. Like, y'all can come to the crib. And this is how I knew that he's not trying to hurt them. That's at least not at first. He's gonna try to pay them off. Cause that big boy, he saw him on Instagram, so he knows who he is. He's not about to try to throw hands with him.
But I don't think it's a fighting thing. My thing is, if I come into your lair, you could have knives under the couch cushion. I don't know where you got the weapons at. So I think no matter what,
Good.
he's able to have the he's able to. You might be right, but I'm just saying that like it's his house, his fortress. You could be locked in the basement for the rest of the time there, and nobody, because you know who's not coming to find you is Fabian.
But he wouldn't do that. But he wouldn't do it at a dinner party. And we know it's a dinner party because he's inviting the Ratcliffes and everybody.
But he's inviting. Yeah, you're right. I think that if the other Ratcliffes weren't coming, like if the parents weren't saying they were coming, then I'd be way more worried. Because if he invites the two people who cucked him, and then the woman who knows that he was a killer, the girlfriend who cheated on him, and then that woman's son, nobody's making it out of there alive. You know what I mean? I'm just, that's the only thing I'm not sure about, but I do agree with you. I think there's a different angle here. Like, I don't think they're going to go into like serial killer murder territory. But what I do want to say, I think, is that Leah says he doesn't throw hands. He has hitman money. Like he definitely has untraceable poison in the dinner.
That's true.
Yeah, he has untraceable poison in the dinner that works through your system in 3 days money, like, so nobody traces it back to him. But in general, I think the only reason why I'm skeptical about him offering the money is because it's like, is he going to offer the money in front of everybody? Like, is he trying to put her, maybe if he puts her on the spot to take the money, he's going to bring it up. But I feel like that's a big thing to bring up, because basically he's going to have to offer her the money without admitting who he is if he does it in a group setting, which maybe she'll go along with, maybe she won't.
I can't wait to see. And so then he's like, listen, we need to talk. So just come talk. And she goes, oh, okay. And so she walks to the pool and she's clearly fucked up. And Zion's like, what's wrong, Mom?
Yeah, but if she's who I think she is, she's like, hell no.
You overestimating the power of money. You overestimated. She was already willing to do everything Tanya was asking the first time to get her spot.
I'm saying the money wise, I'm just saying going to this man's house.
Oh yeah, going to his house. Yeah, that's a good point. And so then we cut back to the Ratcliffe crib, and Tim is having another dream. This time it's him unaliving Vicky and then taking his own self out. And then Saxon walks in and asks, where's everyone? He says, Mom is napping, and Locker and Pipeline staying with the monks. And Saxon's like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Did he really say Locker and Pipeline?
Yeah, so he said Locker and Pipeline.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He's way too gone.
And he goes, look, they're having a dinner party. I don't know if you feel like going because you sound fucked up. And he's like, no, dinner party sounds great, actually.
He's like, these are my last days, so yeah, last supper, let's do that.
And then the last scene back at Bangkok, they're on their way to Sri Lanka. How you say it? Sri Lanka. And Frank does.
You said Sri Lanka, like that restaurant, like that like store where they sell cooking stuff and you can go do samples. So it's either Sri Lanka or it's Sri Lanka, whichever one you want to do.
Frank does look like a douche movie producer. And he looks over and he sees Rick has a gun.
He does. Yeah. He looks like a Wahlberg.
He looks over, he sees that Rick has a gun in his coat, and he goes,
hold on. That was really good. He does look like a Wahlberg.
Does he?
You don't see it? He doesn't look like the fifth Wahlberg brother who's finally getting his chance to direct?
No, he don't like a Wahlberg? No.
He looked like he up there with Mark and Donnie, and then here he come. Here comes Sam.
Okay, a Wahlberg. Okay. We'll go with that. And then he gets up and he turns it on, and they walk by the security. Security don't even check him for guns. They're like, these.
Yeah, because they're like, people's like, why would I do that? Exactly. But also, she's like, this is a director. We don't have to check them. Like, it's very disarming. That's why social engineering, like, there's something about it that turns off your immediate, like, defenses.
And then we get in, and Sritala introduces her husband, Jim. And he's like, hey, thanks for coming in. Let me show you this and that. But we never see his face. And then Rick is just like steaming. And then it cuts to black. And that's the episode. Thank you all for staying through all the technical difficulties with this one. Those of you listening on podcast, I'm going to do my best to edit it so you don't hear the technical difficulties. But those of you live
Well,
in the
what
chat,
happened is,
we appreciate it.
yeah, we cut off mid conversation. So basically, like, just know that you already know that if you're listening to this at this point. But we have 2 different lives from today. It happens. It's all good. It'll be fine.
But we'll be back next week, hopefully with Righteous Gemstones and White Lotus.
Yay.
And so we thank you all for listening. Keep giving us reviews, keep giving us comments and liking our videos on YouTube. And send us any emails. We got 2 more episodes of White Lotus. So wewaswatchingpodcast@gmail.com. Send us an email, tell us what you think. And we'll read that on the show because we're interested in your theories as well. So thank you all for listening. I know it's late as hell. And we'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.